I wonder how many boys these days are just sitting there going, things kind of suck. Although now we're living interesting times again.
I think it's far, far worse in the culture. It's much more debilitating for young men today in 1,000 different ways than it was when we were growing up. But yeah, it's a very natural thing. I mean, you mentioned Star Wars, but that's also, keep in mind, that's what Luke Skywalker's thinking at the beginning of the movie. Yeah. He's like, I want to get off of this farm, right, et cetera. And then all of a sudden, right, there's Jawas and Han Solo shows up, right? So but it's a very natural thing for young men to feel. It's also why in traditional cultures, you actually had ceremony that young men went through that helped them to understand what it meant to be a man. You actually went through ceremonies where, you know, if you're in Spartan culture, when you're 7 years old, you left the women and you started working and living with men. If you were in medieval culture, at 7, you could become a page. At 13, you could become a squire, right? In Judaism, at 13, you get bar mitzvahed. You become a man. So there had been in almost every traditional culture that you looked at, these very specific ages, especially for young boys. One marker was almost always around 7 years old. Another was around 13. And then another came somewhere between 18 and 21 was when you had fully become a man in your culture.